speech that I'm doing today is an informative speech for my speech class at school. The title of my speech is going to be the Honor Flight South Alabama program. The purpose of the speech is to inform you about the South Alabama Honor Flight program that we have here for the World War II veterans. By the time I am done with this speech, I hope to have learned you a little bit more about the Honor Flight program and the pride and patriotism that, it gives the veterans, when they go to Washington, D.C. to relive those years. I can remember going to the airport. My grandfather was a veteran. And as the plane landed, the people in the airport, the crowd just erupted. Everybody was clapping and cheering, just happy that they were back for one, but to celebrate them as veterans. People had banners, they had flags, they had posters. It was a beautiful sight. When they got off the plane, they hugged, they smiled, they shook hands. People that they didn't know, they were just so proud at that moment to be veterans. I can remember my grandfather, who was a veteran, World War II veteran, getting off the plane. And at the time, I was 31 years old. I had never in my life seen my granddaddy so happy. He smiled from ear to ear, literally. And he shook hands and, he hugged, and everybody congratulated him for, and thanked him for being a veteran. And at that moment, I was proud for him to be my grandfather, for me to say, that's my granddaddy. The Honor Flight program, what it is a national effort to give the veterans an opportunity to visit Washington, D.C., the monument that was erected, the World War II monument that was erected in 2005. Today, I aim to enlighten you on the patriotism and the pride that was shown by the veterans on that Honor Flight program, on that flight that day. Some of the stories that they told, and part of what we can do as citizens, to honor our veterans. According to the Honor Flight website, the Honor Flight Network is a nonprofit organization created solely for the purpose of transporting our proud veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit the World War II monument. There was a veteran that was interviewed by one of the local newspapers, and he stated, "You can't imagine how I feel right now," said 89-year-old John Duran of Palm Beach Gardens. "This was the trip of a lifetime. I feel such a relief, such a sense of pride." 89 years old. Those words coming straight out of the mouth of one of the Honor Flight veterans is just one example of pride and patriotism that was displayed that night. The sense of pride and patriotism shown by the 107 World War II veterans on this flight was evident. They had smiles on their faces. They shook every hand that was presented to them. They displayed their Honor Flight t-shirts and their caps and their pendants proudly. Another amazing thing that took place on the flight was the magical exchange of stories. If you ever take the time just to engage a veteran in conversation, I can guarantee you they have many, many, many stories to tell. I have a resident at the nursing home that I live. He's 93 years old. And one of the favorite stories, for him to even have, a memory, he can recant this story. He was on one of the ships that was bombed at Pearl Harbor, and he survived that Pearl Harbor experience. And he was just saying how proud he was to be fighting for his country, and to be able to say, at 93 years old, he can remember that experience. And for me to listen to a 93-year-old gentleman recall something that old, it would mean to me that that was a significant moment in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, he was just so proud to be able to tell that story. In general conversation one day, he told me that him being able to go on that flight made him feel relevant again. It made him feel proud, to be a veteran. 93 years old, they get to feeling unimportant. Older people get to feeling forgotten about. But for him to be able to go on that flight, he said he felt relevant again. So that brings me to my question, a question that was posted in the Mobile Press Register by Ray Hoffman. Hoffman asked, what is it that us in peace and war, no matter what our calling is, what can we do to be as good as they were and still are? My response, we can honor them, remember them in all our ways. There are many different veteran facilities, nursing homes, hospitals that you can, if you just feel the need to go and just visit, just engage them in conversations, shake a hand, let them know that they are not forgotten. If you don't want to talk to a live veteran, they have veteran cemeteries that you can go to. Put a flag, leave a flag, leave a plant, but something just to honor our veterans. So, in closing, what I want to say to you is I hope that you have a better understanding of what the Honor Flight Program is and what it does for our veterans. So now going forward, whenever you see one of these men or women of service, just shake a hand or just simply say thank you just for being proud to serve our country.